that lie about it came out of a bat, it came out of a goat, it came out. I said, absolute nonsense. Did the birds or the bats or the animals give birth to them or manufacture them? These are not living things. Come on, wake up. Where do viruses come from? Viruses are not living things. They're not living things. They don't reproduce, they multiply. There's a difference between the two. And they only multiply inside their host. Outside their host, they cannot multiply. In various nations, we trust our political leaders or administrative leaders. Whether you're in an institution, you trust the leaders to make decisions for you. After all, that's why you think that's why they're in office. And you feel really betrayed when they make the wrong decisions knowingly. It was the same thing about HIV. I spoke about HIV years ago, but I didn't have the voice at the time. But I spoke against it. I said it was a fraud at that time. So much so that I became conscious of the language with which we communicated when people were healed of this HIV. Became concerned about how we communicated it. Because I said it was a fraud. And what did they say it was? A war. That they were at war. That was why. That was their understanding. Even though there was no official war. That they were at war. So it was about the elimination of the black people in South Africa. That's what they said. So there was a cure for it. And they knew it. They hid it from the public. And strengthened the infection. It was calculated, created in the lab, and that's exactly what I said, that the HIV was created. Does it sound familiar? They have not changed. This is how these people are. They haven't changed. The deception. They never checked it. And then they lied to them about the cases. And they had no confirmed case. None worldwide. And yet a whole nation was subjected to forced, not really forced, but coerced vaccinations for the 6 million people. And this thing came out of a laboratory. It was done, it was created. And in fact, the other day, one of the virologists, a doctor, a very highly qualified professional who escaped with her life from China, where it happened, was out in the United States providing evidence that this was planned in the lab in China. Of course, with their collaborators. Now remember, I told you before, it was the Chinese that were collaborators, even though it happened in China. The perpetrators were from the United States. They're sitting there like St. Peter and St. Paul, but their day is near. The FBI, the director of the FBI, also came up. I want you to listen to this. Really? So now they come 3 years later to admit the obvious? So now they agree what I told them in 2020. That, yeah, they came out of a lab. You knew it came out of a lab. Of course, not because you knew from science, you knew because you were a part of it. Why are they coming up now? I'll tell you why they're coming up now, not because they want to tell the truth. So let's not be carried away. This is gaslighting. That's what it's about. smoke screen. That's what this is. And when you see something like this, you got to be thinking, okay, you need God to guide you to know why you're being gaslighted, why there's a smoke screen, because it just means there's something they don't want you to see. And I know what they don't want you to see. Why everybody is calm and quiet? Ask yourself, where went the 5G? Has it been reviewed? Has it been changed? Has it been? No! It went into the cooler. So now, with the smoke screen and the gaslighting, this is supposed to come out without people knowing. And then, at the same time, another virus will be released so that that virus will be blamed. Why the 5G is actually what's killing people. So you say, why is the 5G necessary for that? Because they need something that can help bring down world population as they planned. They want the population of the world cut down drastically. That's why we can't afford to just slip away and forget. We've got to pray. Because through prayer, we're keeping our world in check.